Okay, it says we are live. We're going to give it a couple of seconds to kick over, and I see 1776 right there. What's up, buddy?
What's up, peeps?
I just launched us. I don't know where Big Johnson is just yet, but we will find him eventually. So we are live. I see that we are on there, and everybody. It's a little bit of a lag there, but happy Wednesday night, everybody. Welcome back to the Three Guys Gun Chat. We have three guys on the screen right now. Special guest, Honest Outlaw, and 17, of course. Big Johnson hopefully will be on his way very soon. He's a little bit MIA right now, but we will find him. So, gentlemen, how the heck are you?
Well, I think I'm doing better than both of you right now. At least for now. I mean, I'm doing good, man. I just picked up what I think is just a fucking cool ass gun. It's a Beretta 90-2 with the 2 spelled out, TWO. So it's kind of a unique gun. They started making them in 2006, and then they stopped making them, I think, in like 2000. Shit, I don't remember. I think it was 2012 or something like that. And then eventually they came out with the A1 that replaced it. But it's such a nice upgrade because I've been looking at more Berettas, but they're just too expensive. So I wanted to get something that was kind of cool, and my gun shop had it. And it was like, wow. I mean, it's just kind of unique, man. So pretty sweet.
Yeah, I saw that gun on Instagram. On your Instagram, it looks pretty sweet.
Yeah, it's definitely a weird gun, grip wise, because it's a wraparound, so there's no aftermarket anything. So I'm hoping that if I connect with somebody who would like to try to stipple it, I think that would make a huge improvement because it's very slick. It's like a PX4 grip almost.
Yeah, the PX4 could definitely use some texture.
Oh yeah,
I don't grips on mine because.
So how the hell are you doing, man? I mean, how are you guys doing? Are you're okay? You're not going to jump off a bridge or anything like that?
No. We're figuring stuff out. At least we're trying to.
Mm-hmm. What about you, KS?
I'm doing all right. By the way, I just discovered we can put people's comments and questions on. So Stephen Worth, you got to call out, buddy. Big Johnson is blow drying his hair. So that is pretty darn cool. That is pretty cool for sure. But so hopefully some of this interaction is pretty fun for you guys. But I'm doing okay. I'm hanging in there, just trying to find my way. I've started to work on Amazon affiliates and putting together a list. And this is stuff again that I use, like the Gerber knife that I use every day. Love that freaking knife and some of those types of things. And trying to build out some of this stuff. Some people have joined Patreon. Much appreciated to everybody on that. It's incredible. The support in the community is outstanding, whether it's support through something like Patreon or just some of the wonderful comments that people have left and in support of all of us, honest you as well. But also just, you gotta fight the power, whatever you believe in, whether it's guns or, underwater basket weaving, it doesn't matter. You gotta believe in what you're into and stick with it and stick with the community. So this is all an adventure, a interesting and very scary adventure for sure. Tactical considerations. Thanks, man. Really appreciate it, brother. So that's it.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely brings up a lot of interesting things. I mean, I've shared my opinion, and to the dismay and anger of many, I just wish that people would have reached out and let me explain what I meant when I initially said it. And I would say it again that, you know what, even if they demonetize you, it doesn't mean you should stop making videos, because that's exactly what they want. They want to take away the incentive so that guys and gals stop making the videos. And yeah, it sucks. It sucks that you're not able to make any money. But like I said then, and I'll say now, you're already finding out ways to try to, I guess, compensate for the loss of that income. And, if you kill your channel and you stop making those videos, then they've won and you've lost. And yeah, it's a painful thing. I haven't gone through it yet. I'm sure it's going to happen at some point. I don't know where I'm going to go because I don't feel like I make good enough or often enough content to justify a Patreon thing. But that could change. I don't know. I just don't know where I'm at with it because it hasn't happened yet. If it does, hopefully it doesn't. But if it does, then I'll reconsider then. But, I think either way it's bullshit. But I don't think it's unexpected at this point what YouTube is doing.
Right. Yeah, I hear you there.
Like, one is that the quality of my content is going to go down. Like, I'm never going to stop doing videos.
Yeah.
It takes money to get 2 guns a week and shoot 1,000 rounds per gun and video equipment and all that other stuff, plus time it takes out of your job to do. So I don't know if I'll have to scale back a little bit, but I'm willing to bet that, like I said, the community out there is going to want to support people, especially with a large corporation like this. Like, I mean, come on, I didn't even get an email. At least KS got an email. Like they put it on my creator studio, and I contacted them today, and they literally wouldn't give me a reason why I was demonetized. I was like, I went through all of your stipulations. I went through the firearm guidelines, like that. And I was like, could you just explain to me what I did? I mean, I'm aware that I'm never going to get monetization back. And I'm actually kind of okay with that because, like I said, we're starting our own website. We're doing different stuff. And it's going to free me up to do other things. So okay with it. But the second thing, the biggest thing I'm worried about is what do they do from here? Because there's been a progression of aggressiveness like towards GunTube guys. And it went from slowing your monetization to restricting you, then to completely demonetizing you. And if they're not going to monetize you at all, and they're not going to run ads on your content, then now they're paying out of their pocket for that bandwidth that you're using for your download. So how long are they going to keep you on their channel? You know? So like I said, eventually I'm just going to start a website eventually because, I mean, I feel like I'm not long for YouTube, it seems like. And, you know, the good thing about being demonetized is that you can now upload to many other sites as well. And I'm sure if YouTube starts going super anti-gun, all those people out there are still going to want to watch gun content. So there's going to be other streaming sites as well.
Right.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely true, and unfortunately, there's so little clarity. I like you, Honest, spoke with YouTube today through chat, and I could tell very quickly that this individual, wherever they were located, they were simply cutting and pasting off of scripts. This person was not telling me anything at all, and at one point said they had no information as to what the cause was, and I mean it was very nefarious, a very odd deal there. I think you're right. I think we will be a forgotten thing before entirely too long, which is unfortunate.
It's ridiculous. I mean, I don't even know how you respond to any of this. You know, it's you know, they obviously have their agenda. The agenda is what it is, and like you said, they don't even bother explaining it. You know, and I mean, I got lucky on that one video. They demonetized it, and then I wound up speaking to somebody, and they wound up remonetizing it. And really, it boiled down to them not being able to really fully explain why the video was demonetized in the first place. So I don't know if I just got lucky or what. I don't know. I mean, I really don't. I think either way, it's horseshit. But
yeah, I saw a comment on there about full 30. I've had a ton of people tell me to go to full 30, but the problem with that is that first off, there's a long wait. I've been on a wait for a long time. Yeah. And I'm still not allowed to upload there. And second off, it's just not a sustainable platform either because they don't have the bandwidth to support 100 people, let alone 1,000. You know, so the vast majority of people are not going to get on there, and it's really a first come first serve thing. So most people cannot get on full 30 if they're not already on there.
Well, yeah, and I spoke with someone who's close to full 30 rather. This was probably 6 months ago or so, because remember last year, might have been early last year, they were advertising, hey, we're opening our doors, come on in, and that sort of thing. That was actually not true. They actually didn't do that. And the truth of the matter is they don't have the servers and, like you said, the bandwidth to be able to do that. They don't have the support. But here's the other thing. Think about YouTube, and we've talked about this before. YouTube is a place you can come to watch anything you want. Cars, photography, you know, dancing, whatever it is you're into, you know, and part of that is being able to access information about firearms, whatever you're into there as well. And so if we all moved off to another place, that's another place people have to go. And I think the volume to which we experience here is not going to be anywhere else. It just isn't. And so that's part of the challenge too, and that's bad for our industry in general, because this is where marketing happens. You know, Tactical Toolbox released a video today talking about, you know, how channels get paid and that sort of thing. And there's a lot of truth to that video. However, you'd be surprised how many channels don't take advantage of a lot of those sort of backdoor sort of things. And I don't mean that in a negative connotation, but I just mean things like affiliate links and sponsored videos and different things like that. I mean, there are some channels like, I mean, I can speak for mine only personally. I have one affiliate link. I have one, and that's Harry's Holster. And I, you know, I put the code in that. I periodically talk about his holsters and videos, and I think I've made like 120, 125 bucks all told on that. So I mean, that was simply, I wanted to promote a product of not only a great guy, but a great product. And that was it. But so everything was dependent upon YouTube. And that was probably a really bad idea to put all my eggs in one basket.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Tactical Toolbox is kind of in a unique position because he's kind of done that from the start. And not everybody runs a channel like him either. Like my channel really wouldn't work on affiliate links, because I consider that a conflict of interest. If you're putting an affiliate link for every single product you're reviewing, it's no longer a review, it's an advertisement.
Right.
So, I mean, I'm not trying to call out his, integrity or anything, but I'm simply saying people are swayed by money. They have been throughout history. And it was easier to have no conflict of interest when you were getting paid ad revenue. But now, I mean, what else are you going to do besides affiliate links or memberships, all kinds of different stuff if you're going to keep the level of content that we have? And if not, content will shrink or we'll go elsewhere. Capitalism's a beautiful thing. I mean, if YouTube stops paying all of their creators, eventually a new website, Vimeo or whatever it's going to be, is going to become number one eventually. They became number one by paying their creators. If they stop, they'll go back down.
Right.
But the question also is, though, do they actually have less of that because of all the other crap that's on YouTube? I mean, I don't know. Because if you look at YouTube, let's be honest, most of the stuff that's on YouTube is garbage. There's not a heck of a lot of good educational content. I think a lot of the gun stuff is very educational and very, very knowledgeable with the certain people who do what they do. And I don't know if they really see it as something that's marketable for them per se. I think they look at it as a way to control, sort of what they want. And as a result, they don't really care because in the end, it's not going to make them the money they want because the majority of people who watch YouTube nowadays aren't really into guns,
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, what YouTube wants is kid-friendly content. That's what they want overall, and that's what they're going to pay for. But a lot of adults use YouTube as well. And like I said, I'm pretty confident that the way social media rises and falls so quickly, I'm willing to bet there's going to be other adult-friendly streaming sites that are going to open up at some point.
Yeah, I agree.
But between then and now, who knows? But I'm just still going to shoot guns in my backyard. It'll be okay.
I know you're a lucky guy.
You are a lucky guy for sure. For sure. Well, again, hopefully Big Johnson will join us before here too long. But, obviously we don't want to make this chat all about the goings on of YouTube. That gets very old very quickly for everybody. So guys, well, what questions do you have for any of us? Certainly Honest Outlaw, that sort of thing. I know Young Guns is saying 1776 in gunsmithing. You're
yeah, I am. I'm changing this damn grip frame on this stupid APX, man. It's just driving me insane. So I did a ghetto rattle can job on my black one. So I just wanted to see how long it lasts.
That's really funny. I was making fun of your hat earlier because everybody could just see your hat, but you were talking.
I know. I'm listening. I can multitask. I'm actually pretty smart. So,
don't give yourself too much credit.
Listen, I'm a very smart man. My mom says so.
I used to do the Duracoat and Cerakote and all that stuff, but I pretty much rattle can now too because it looks cooler when it wears off anyway.
And it's a hell of a lot cheaper too.
It definitely is. Alumihide's not that expensive. I usually go with that if I'm doing rifles.
Yeah. Yeah, I just decided, who cares? It's an extra grip module. I use the gray one most of the time anyway. So I just want to see what happens.
Yeah.
But I can't get the stupid trigger back in the whole set. So it's a pain in the ass.
Just shoot it with it out of the frame. It'll be fine.
Yeah. That's what I'm going to do.
Well, Stephen Worth has voted that we talk guns. So, so Honest, what are you into right now? What's your focus in terms of guns?
Well, I was training to shoot the NRA instructor course, which I plan on doing in August, hopefully, because I want to start offering some training. I get so many questions about that, and I totally had the standards wrong. So I was wondering why it was so difficult. I was like, do people actually pass this? But I thought it was those black 50-yard target or 50-foot targets at 25 yards. So it's like a 3-inch black circle. Mm-hmm. And I thought you had to get all of them in there, like all 20. For some reason, I don't know why I thought that. but I've been outside practicing for like 3 days, and I just looked up the standards, and it's only a 9-inch circle at 15 yards.
Well, you might be able to hit that, but I don't know, dude. You better keep practicing.
Yeah, I can do that one-handed. It's not that big a deal.
Yeah, I don't see you having too much problems, man.
Yeah.
Well, what else are you into? What new guns are you focusing on right now?
Well, I'm really just shooting the shit out of this guy. I wanted to bring this guy up because this is definitely my favorite gun. I just did a review of this Wilson Combat, and oh my god, I am just having so much fun. I think I probably put 800 rounds through it this week or something like that. I think I've went out 4 times, 200 rounds each. I don't know. I've been since I got demonetized the past few days. I haven't done any testing, and I've kind of renewed my love of just shooting guns I really, really enjoy, like my Shadow 2 and my 1911. So it's been pretty good. But I have a bunch of reviews coming. I've got a big John Wick video coming up soon.
Nice. Now, what are your thoughts? Sheck Jesus brings up a good point. The 365 XL is the talk this week, and I have a rebuttal to that. But what do you think of the XL?
I think it's going to sell. I'm just not on the STIG hype train. Like, I have the 365 and I understand how small it is and how much capacity it has and how good it can be and all that. But for some reason, they just don't interest me that much.
Okay. Hallelujah, my brother.
Whatever. You've got 4 on order.
No, I'm not into them. I don't, like everybody's like, 365, but I find as much enjoyment in my Shield as I would probably that gun. And
probably true. Yeah.
And honestly, like I never really liked SIG, and then I got my hands on that 225, and I'm now starting to really, really appreciate metal SIGs. So
that X5 Legion looks sweet. That's like the first SIG I've ever really, really wanted. That tungsten infused one.
Yeah,
that was cool.
Well, I will tell you, and that's this kid right here, and I've had this for almost a week now, but I haven't been able to work with it yet because I stick to a pretty regimented schedule, and now I have to be a little bit more conservative, at least with ammo. However, with this one, I'm probably not going to care very much. But Shaq, my rebuttal to you is, I think a lot of people are more interested in this, and I'm getting that vibe at least locally. So Frontier Justice was able to get this and the XL for me. Now the XL was supposed to actually be in Kansas. It's in the Missouri shop right now, but it was delayed by the courier who's supposed to bring it over. So I actually won't be able to get it until Friday, but that's fine. That isn't a big deal. But everybody was interested in the P320, the X5, and I'm telling you guys, this thing, I've enjoyed the X5 series anyway. I think they're fantastic guns. But aside from some of the changes like the tungsten, this thing is it is super heavy. You pick it up and you're shocked how heavy it is. It's heavier than the Q5 steel frame. And this is polymer, which is just a little bit mind-blowing. But the thing that I noticed the most, aside from the changes, when I rack the slide, a lot of you guys who are into P320s, especially the post-recall ones, they tend to hang up and they tend to stick a little bit, and you really have to put about 400 or 500 rounds before that goes away. I think they did a little bit of extra work with the Legions, because this thing not only is incredibly smooth, it feels tighter fitted, but it also, there's no hang up. There's nothing. I mean, this thing really feels like the original X5 that was pre-recall that they only did for a short amount of time. So I think this one is going to be the one that the spotlight is on more than the XL.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, SIG. I mean, God forbid they actually do some quality control. but yeah, it looks like an awesome gun. How's the recoil? Because I'm caught, because I like the idea of a polymer infused or a tungsten infused polymer frame, because it's going to lower the recoil, because it's going to have a little bit of flex. Yeah. It's also going to have the weight and the dust cover, which I really like. But what I don't like about the X5 is why the hell it's always so tall. Like, why does it have to be so tall? Like, right. In a block slide. You know,
it's SIG, man.
Yeah, you want to block. I know, but that drives me insane. Like, that's for no reason at all.
No, like, I totally get it. And
but it's not the module. Like Steyr has the module, right?
Well, yeah, something like Steyr's super low.
Yeah.
But no, this definitely sits tall, just like any other P320. Admittedly, I have not shot it yet. It has not seen around at all. So I can't speak to the recoil or anything. My assumption is the recoil will be very minimal because I mean the frame alone weighs over a pound. So I mean it's a substantial firearm. But I have a feeling the recoil is going to be basically non-existent. Anytime you're putting something that weighs as much as this, well, I can't remember how much it weighs. I mean, it's 44 ounces or something, 43 ounces, whatever it is. The recoil in a 9mm and something that's over 40 ounces is basically nil.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, this gun right here is about the same weight and it's got about the same bore axis. You know, the one thing I don't like, the 1911 doesn't exactly sit low either. And the recoil is just fine. But someday I want somebody to just do the best possible gun, like rotating barrel. I want like the upper of an Arsenal Strike 1 with like a 1911 trigger. And I want that tungsten infused grip. You know what I mean? Like I want somebody to put together the best shooting gun of all time just someday. Like, I don't know how hard it could be. Just sit me in a room with Gaston Glock.
Yeah. Well, honestly, I think, that sounds like you're really describing a Steyr.
Yeah, well, the Steyr is one of my favorite guns of all time, but I wish it had a 1911 trigger in it. I'd be okay with that.
Yeah, I just wish the only thing, if they could just change, would be the thickness of the gun. Like, I just think it's maybe a little bit too thick. And I don't even know if it's necessary to be that thick, but overall, I mean, it's the new one is just sweet as hell, man. You're going to enjoy that gun. I mean, you didn't think the gun could get more ergonomic, and then they created this one, and it's better. I mean, it's actually better.
Are they going to make a large frame version?
The L9 is the largest. That's what they're coming out with, and then I think they're going to do like an M frame and supposedly like a carry frame, which will be the standard grip with a shorter slide. So.
Yeah, I'm gonna need like a 5.25 version. So
yeah, that's not on the table, unfortunately.
Pistol Pete's asking you if you're playing with that up Lula, strip Lula again.
No, I actually finally got the module in and the gun is ready to go. I mean, it's not a bad job for fucking spray paint. I mean, it's pretty good. So pretty happy.
Nice. Hey, so Bruce has a question. Care to comment on the PPQ M2 4-inch? Particularly, I hear more recoil than other polymer 9mm. Thinking about as my next gun or the Q5 match.
Go ahead, Honest. You go.
It depends on what you can do with it. You know, get the 4-inch if you're going to carry it. Get the 5-inch if you're going to shoot it for a range toy. You know, I mean, PPQ's got a little more recoil than other guns, sure, but it's also got a better trigger than most guns. So everything's kind of give and a take, you know.
So the one thing I'd say about a PPQ is it all depends on the grip. And what I mean by that, and it's something that I've learned with this gun. I mean, this is the one I have. I love this gun. I mean, it's got the Apex trigger. I know, Honest, you have one in there. I mean, it just makes the gun even better. But one of the things I noticed was that I kept using the small grip because I just like to be able to just really get a good, solid, nasty grip on that gun. But then I put the large grip on, and what it did was it allowed my support hand to actually grip better on this gun, and it allows it to be controlled more. As a matter of fact, I did shoot it, and what I noticed also is my thumb was not riding the slide release or slide lock anymore because of all that space that was created. And then actually the way it sits in my hand, I don't know if you can see that though, but it actually sits right in the sweet spot. So a lot of that is now being more controllable with the hand. So, I mean, I think you got to just play around with the grips too, to see which one fits best. And I mean, you know, it's like any other gun, just shoot the crap out of it and learn how to control that recoil and feel that impulse. But I mean, PPQ, I'm still extremely happy with. I'm good. I shoot okay with it. I'm not an expert, but I still shoot fairly well with it. And, it is a snappier gun, but it doesn't necessarily make it a gun you shouldn't get.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Like everything's about technique. Like I can shoot a SIG 365 faster than my wife can shoot a 2011. So it's all about how you grip the gun. And like you said, with your left hand is so important. Most people, when they first start shooting, they don't use their left hand at all.
Right.
But you really should be gripping the shit out of it with your left hand. Your right hand, maybe not so much because you have to have a little bit of flexibility with your trigger finger still, and you don't want your trigger finger shaking. But your left hand, all that damn thing should be doing is squeezing the shit out of that gun.
Yeah. Yep. And like I said, just because of the thickness now, I actually have a hell of a lot more room to actually just bear down on that gun even more, because I could just release my main hand and I'm just able to put my paw on there and really hold it tight. So I think it made a huge improvement.
Yeah, yeah.
I like the oh, sorry, I keep talking over you, but I like the PPQ's back straps as well because they put a little bit of distance in the web of your hand, and some guns don't do that. Like you'll get back straps to certain guns, like the CZP-10 series. I really like that, but they don't put an actual beaver tail in their back strap, so I don't understand the point.
Right, right. So we have another question. Johnny Danger asked, Honest Outlaw, if you could only have 2 guns, one for carry and one for home defense, what would they be?
Do they have to be pistols or can they be anything?
You know what? He didn't give any rules, so there are no rules.
I don't know. I carry my Glock 43X. I'm pretty happy with that. So that'd probably be one. And if I could only pick one other gun, man, that'd be tough because I'd have to choose between competition shooting and hunting. Because you could use a pistol or a shotgun, I'd be okay with that. I don't know. Maybe the Shadow 2 and the Glock 43X, either that or switch it out for Beretta 1301.
Nice. 17, what do you think?
And can you repeat the question for me?
Yes, 2 guns, one for self-defense, one for home defense, I believe it was.
Boy, well, I don't own one, but I just saw it the other day and I was playing around with it. I definitely would like to get the new Marlin 336 Black, the Black series. I don't know if you guys have seen those, but I definitely would like that. That would be my home defense gun. For a carry gun, man, I'm going to say, because I just loved shooting, that M9A3, man. I love that gun. I love it. Nice. Absolutely love it.
What if you didn't live in New York? What would your home defense gun be?
Shit. If I didn't live in New York, my home defense gun, I'd have a pretty sweet, probably a small AR or something like that. You know, something that actually looked like a gun as opposed to a spoon with a handle. But I mean, look, I just, there's something about lever action guns that I love. And I got to manipulate the new one, and it comes with a threaded barrel, which is on every other gun except for a bolt action is illegal in New York State. So you could actually get a flash hider or something like that for that gun, and it'd be perfectly legal. And I like the 30-30 cartridge. I think it's still a good, viable cartridge to use.
Oh yeah, yeah. I've shot deer with 30-30. It does a good job.
Yeah,
can't imagine that dude a human being up close. You can shoot a lever action super fast too if you have training, but for my money, I mean, I got a Daniel Defense MK18 for my own defense rifle right now. And I like that because it's got that holy shit factor. Like if you pull that out and that's got the quad rail and the short barrel, if you pop a few rounds off that, all the windows in the house are going to break. Like I think people would shit and they'd run. And I like that.
I like when people shit too.
It gets a little smelly though, but I'm boring. I would probably do a Glock 19 because I think that's sort of a versatile, do anything okay, but nothing perfectly well gun. And I'm okay with that. And actually I would probably go, and some people would argue with the caliber on this, but the AR9 and it's because it's Glock mag compatible. And so both the 2 guns I could run simultaneously, switch mags, there's less to carry around, that sort of thing, depending on the situation, whatever it is. So that would be the home defense setup for me. So pretty boring for sure, but I think it would get the job done. So we do have another question out here, Dexter, and I'm going to have to catch up here in a minute. But I see Big Johnson in the crowd now. So Big Johnson, if you want to join us, there's an email out there for you. But anyway, Dexter said, do you guys think that mag guts changes the game for shields?
Hell yes. There's no, I'll tell you what, and we talked about this earlier. I actually wound up selling my 43X because the deciding factor was I like the shield better. The 4-inch I like better. The mag guts make it a better gun. I mean, right now there's 8 in this one, and I still can get that little pinky on there with that. Shit, where's my camera? With this little extension here, and it's very concealable. And if you want, you just drop this mag out and you put your 10 rounder in, and now you have a full grip. I just think it's I think it's a better gun. I like the shield better. I know that's not necessarily everybody's choice, but for me, that was the deciding factor that said I'm definitely keeping the shield and ditching the 43X.
Yeah, so I've done a review of the shield and the 43X, and I carry the 43X, but I suggest people buy the shield because out of the box, it's a better gun. I mean, I don't think there's any denying that, and yeah, it obviously helps. I'm interested in that shield arms 15 round Glock 43X mag. Have you heard of that?
Oh yeah, yeah. Shield arms, yeah.
Yeah, but I haven't got a hold of one yet because that would be sweet.
Right.
Yeah, I think they're still working on it. I talked to them a couple of weeks ago, and it wasn't quite ready yet. But that would be cool. I don't have any experience with mag guts. I like the shield the way it is. It's fine. However, I see the advantage to mag guts. Anytime you can get an extra round and keep that same form factor, I am all for that. So that's cool. I'd like to try some at some point in time and see if they work as well as the experience that you've had, and you've had good experience with the company in general. So that speaks very highly.
Very good, customer service, very receptive to try to improve their new version. And I mean, they work. That's what's even better. So, I didn't have any hangups or anything like that. Initially you got to really stomp down that Z spring. And that's why, once I got that down, it's been flawless. So I've had no issues with it. And I would recommend it if you own a shield and you're very, favorable towards the shield, you really should get them because you're maximizing the gun.
Nice. That's cool. All right, Pistol Pete's got a question here, or a statement, but something we could probably chime in on. When you have a chance, check out the new optimized performance trigger bar for the 92 from Langdon Tactical. So, Honest, do you have any experience with the Langdon Tactical?
I have had literally thousands of messages telling me to get one, but I still haven't tried one yet. I mean, if not the most requested gun, it's right up there. And the funny part is I've known who Langdon is for a while, but I've never heard him mentioned near as much as I have in the past year. I don't know if he won the lottery or something, but that guy has gotten some serious publicity this year, and he should, because he's probably one of the best Beretta shooters in the world, and he makes really good stuff. And I've heard that his gun is actually better than the Wilson version, which wouldn't surprise me. But yeah, I haven't tried him yet personally, but I will someday.
Interesting.
I have some thoughts on that versus the Wilson, but I won't share that just yet because I don't know. I have the Langdon still for the time being, but I have not shot that one yet. One thing at a time. The Wilson video actually comes out this weekend. But yeah, I think they're both phenomenal. I think you should get the trigger job on either one. I'd be curious to know if that trigger bar, Pete, that you're talking about would make any sort of a difference on top of the trigger job that's already in there, if that's a thing, if it isn't already in there. So, but I'm excited about it. But I think both of them are equally good, equally capable firearms, no doubt about that.
Now,
it's interesting. M9 by chance?
I'm sorry, say again?
You have a standard M9 to compare them to?
I do not, unfortunately.
I got the M9A3, and I couldn't believe how much I liked it so much more than the standard M9. The standard M9 honestly kind of sucks for me now. Like I've got the regular trigger, and it's got no checkering on it whatsoever. Yeah, I think you would be blown away if you haven't shot an M9 in a while and you shoot it against one of those, how much better they actually are with accessories.
Yeah. Well, 17 speaks highly of the M9A3, and I've got a buddy who's got one, is willing to lend it to me. So we'll do that down the road. And the idea was to really do all three at the same time. Now, timing wise, and because of some of the events on the channel of late, that may not be a reality, but at least the single videos. And then one of the two I'm hoping will stay around because I want to continue to work with it. And I've been a fan of the Beretta 92 for years. I had an old 92 FS years and years ago. And although I knew I knew less than I guess I know now in terms of triggers, I'm a little bit more snotty about triggers. That was still a fun gun and an incredibly accurate gun. The one criticism I've always had, when you're going out to the reset, that reset is so long and there's all that take up back to your wall. I struggle with that with almost any double action, single action, even the PO1 Omega, things like that. And that's where, for me, I find, because my left wrist is so bad. You talk about having to really support with your left hand. That's where I struggle a lot. That wavering, that little motion there, and because of the lack of support, I have a tendency to do one of these things and move it around a little bit. So that's a struggle. Thankfully, the Wilson, since I've been able to put 400 rounds through it so far, the reset is really short, and that makes it a much more pleasant shooter for me.
Right. Now, in regards to getting back to that Langdon thing, because I just picked, I didn't pick it up yet, but I actually reached out to them to find out what is possible with that 92. And whoever owned it prior, I think probably threw a new spring in there. The single action on that gun is better than this one, the M9A3. And this is a stock one. I haven't done anything to it yet. But the damn reset is so short that I was like, holy shit, this didn't even feel like. It's definitely shorter than the A3. And so I'm assuming the guy may have put a spring or two in there. I mean, there's so many good things that gun had. It has a buffer in there, so it reduces the slamming of the slide and everything. And I'm surprised it only lasted like 6 years, and it was definitely, to me, it's definitely an improvement on the 92 FS. And, it has the dovetail front sight, so you don't have to take it out and send it out to be milled for night sights or anything like that. And then so I reached out to him asking him, what could be done with this gun? And his response was, if you guys don't mind, he says, the 92 is a discontinued model that was only made for a short period of time. Unfortunately, we cannot do very much to that pistol, as many of the parts are not compatible with current and past models of the Beretta 92. So I thought that was shocking.
Wow.
So he says, I think we can only do a level 1 trigger job. Not sure what else will fit that model gun that we may have. If you want to send it in for a level 1 trigger job, we will take a look and see what else we can do. So I actually asked him, like, what are the costs involved in that? Maybe he'd want to do pro bono, but that ain't happening.
Right.
So, but that would be kind of sweet, because I was reading something and some people were saying they were putting like Wilson Combat springs in there, Wilson Combat trigger, and it's all on the cheap. So here I have a $400 gun that I may be able to really just do so much shit with it that it turns into a $1,000 gun. So I don't know. We're going to see. We're going to see what I can do with it.
Well, if you play around enough, you can make things work. I mean, I once put an AR-15 spring in a PO7. So, I mean,
oh my God.
You can do some things.
And that was that before or after the gun exploded in your hands? Which one?
Oh, it still works. I shot like 4,000 rounds or something from it.
Jesus.
Ooh.
That's funny.
Uh-oh.
Do I like it over they're just such different guns, you know what I mean? Like the Beretta is this big, massive, beautiful, it really is. It's like it really looks like an Italian gun, like a gaudy chandelier in one of your Italian neighbors' homes. No offense to Italians out there, but it's just such a unique gun. And I was telling KS that when I shot it for the first time, I thought I had a misfire, because the damn slide is so smooth on there that I'm like, it didn't feel like anything. And then the single action caught me off guard about how good that was. The P01 though, I mean, it's a compact gun. It's just ergonomically great. I mean, I still would favor the P01 all day long.
All right, moving on to another question here from Havoc. Switching to LP VOs, what do you guys run specifically in 1x6 or 1x8? Glass, price, brand?
Well, I shoot a lot of them. I run through a lot because optics companies apparently think I'm a rifle shooter. So they send me scopes all the time. And I like a lot of them. I mean, for the money, the best for the money is primary arms, in my opinion. I've shot the vast majority of them on the market. And the best one I've ever shot is a Swarovski. So, two sides of the money coin by far. The Swarovski's like $3,000 and the primary arms is like $300.
Yeah, I mean, I have a scout scope from Vortex, which cost me like $180. So thanks. You're making me feel bad about myself. And I like that scope. The scope is clear enough for me. I mean, I'm not a world champion shooter, and I really don't care. I mean, it works well on basically any rifle you want to throw it on, and I'm happy with it. It shoots well.
Yeah, I have almost no experience with any of that at all. I mean, I've got some red dots, that sort of thing, but since I have not traditionally been any sort of a long gun or a rifle shooter or anything like that, I have so little experience, which is actually part of the fun of it, because it's learning for the first time. And a lot of this, I mean, that dagger defense build that I did with the AR-15, that little pistol, was totally, I mean, completely new and different experience for me, genuine. And that was a lot of fun. That was really cool. I learned some things, made a few mistakes along the way. And so it'd be fun to get into some optics and longer guns and longer shooting, that sort of thing. But yeah, I have very little experience at this point in time.
Yeah. And somebody mentioned Night Force. I mean, they're just godly expensive. I mean,
they're good though.
Yeah, I know. They're fantastic. You could throw them out of a plane.
X8 is ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not good like in the 3-gun sense, because it's got kind of a little bit of a wonky reticle to it that I wasn't super happy with, like overall. But as far as a combat optic, they're exceptional.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, I don't know if the average guy would want to spend that kind of bread on something like
you have
that.
no need to. I mean, unless you're going to Afghanistan or unless you're jumping out of planes, you have no need.
Definitely not doing that anytime soon.
Right.
Either.
All right.
Although I do shoot coyotes every once in a while.
What?
Although I do shoot coyotes every once in a while.
Oh, very good.
1x8.
I had a black bear walk across my street in the middle of the day yesterday.
Nice.
Yeah, it was fun. Kids loved it.
Should have put a saddle on it and rode it.
Dude, it was enormous. It was a big ass bear. And I was carrying a 9mm. I'm like, oh boy.
Yeah, that ain't gonna work.
No, it'll just piss it off.
Yeah, right.
We have a mountain lion near here that my wife keeps getting concerned about. I'm like, what are you gonna do? You're never gonna see it until it tries to eat you. So don't worry about it.
I know, stalking you. Same thing with bears, though. I mean, a lot of people think bears are like these animals that walk around going rah like the whole time. But they are quiet, man. Like stealth, like almost like holding that holster where your footsteps are like a Navy SEAL. But I would say those are the Navy SEAL mammals of land mammals, because they sneak up, man. They prey on you. They hunt you. They just kind of.
A black bear can run like 30 miles an hour.
Yeah, and they climb trees. I mean, they're like, you're screwed.
Was it wearing a black robe and hood and had a couple of swords sticking out the back and a red around it?
It was a ninja bear.
I mean, just saying.
It was big enough to put a little fear in everybody on the street. So
I have no doubt about that.
Black bears eat more people than grizzly bears, so you should be concerned.
Oh, that's great.
Perfect. So we have another question out there. This is from Fina. Do you think I have anything to worry about if I change the trigger spring, plunger, and plunger spring and connector on my carry Glock?
Well, that depends on who you ask. Lots of trainers will tell you one way. Lots of trainers will tell you another way. I mean, most people are concerned about court problems. And to my knowledge, I've heard rumors that there have been some, but I haven't seen any actual cases where it's affected the outcome. Right. But that's up to you.
I don't know. I mean, I would change out the trigger shoe, and then at least you're getting a better trigger on there, minimum.
Yeah. There are a lot of schools of thought on that. And obviously at the end of the day, you have to make your own decision. None of us are lawyers or anything like that. But yeah, I would agree with Honest in that there are really no documented cases that say that changing out a part necessarily is going to have an impact on a case. But a lot of that has to do with if it was justified or not, or if it was negligent or not. That would be a much different deal, because then you're giving ammo, pun intended, anytime you're doing anything beyond the stock at that point in time. But if you're wanting to improve the trigger or something like that, personally for me, I don't see a problem with that. Now, I'm not going to carry a 2.5, 3 pound trigger or anything like that on any gun. And I don't carry 1911, although many people do, and they've got good triggers, light trigger. But even on carry guns, I mean, I do have aftermarket trigger parts in them, but it's just, you do it at your own risk and your own confidence level.
Yeah.
If you want to split the difference, you can just get polished parts from the regular manufacturer too, So, I mean, that way you can get a slightly better trigger, but then you don't have to worry about it.
Right, and you could always polish it yourself as well.
You sure can, yeah. It's cheap too.
Mm-hmm. There's always a workaround, boys. Always a workaround.
It's very true. Very true. Young Guns is saying he was fortunate enough to pick up the limited run of the Beretta 92G SD. It's sweet.
What is that?
It's another Beretta 92. Duh.
Oh, damn it!
Weren't you listening?
Yeah, Beretta guy. You should know this.
Listen, I'm not. I'm just turning into a damn Beretta guy. All right. And it's funny because I'm actually moving away from Glock more and more. I like, for example, this has replaced my 19, the APX. I love it. The Centurion. It's a great gun. Great freaking gun. So
the only reason why people still shoot Glocks, I think, are just because that's what they're used to. Like, I mean, I still carry a Glock, and I still use a Glock for home defense most of the time and stuff like that. But it's just because it's like an extension of my body. I know it's going to work. I shoot it really well. And Glock grip angle is weird. So if you're used to it, that's the kind of thing that you get used to. You know what I mean? So I really think there's so many other guns out there now that have surpassed it. But if you still use a Glock, it's still just as good. I mean, it's not like you're in a concealed carry situation and you have two guys 4 yards away. It's not going to matter what gun you have as long as it works.
Right.
snub nose 357. It's still going to work.
Yeah. I mean, right now, the only Glock I own right now is the 19X. That's it.
Oh, how dare you?
I know. Damn it. And honestly, that if I had to trade another gun in to get something cooler or something that I wanted, I would. That's probably first on the list right now. I've just really found, it's weird because, there's not a lot of guns that I've really felt like, wow, this is something unique for me. And it's something that I really, really like. Steyr is definitely one of those brands. CZ, at least the aluminum frame CZs, I've got 2 B1s, the PCR, but there's just something about Beretta that has just caught me, and I don't know what it is, and I don't know if it's going to last, but right now I'm very interested in a lot of these Berettas. And they're just cool guns, and also the damn metal SIGs, which are just, ridiculously priced, but if I can find them used, I'm going for it. I don't care anymore.
Well, that brings up a good point, and then I want to throw up another comment from Humble Marksman. But does anybody ever get into kind of a brand rut, if you will? I mean, so 17 is kind of experiencing that with Beretta right now. Admittedly, I am a little bit with SIG right now, with several different guns, whether it be the X Compact, which blew me away, man. That thing, that's a keeper. That is a phenomenal firearm. This X5, the 365 or 365 XL, maybe not, who knows? But I've fallen into that. Honest, how about you?
Well, I can tell you, I've been criticized in the past for reviewing too many 9mm 1911s. I can tell you that. Like, I have maybe 10 of those or 12 of those on my channel. But I mean, as far as brand ruts, I do a lot of Glock stuff just because I like Glocks. I like CZ too. I do a ton of CZ stuff as well.
Yeah. Well, and I think a lot of people like Glocks and a lot of people like CZs, so it's kind of easy, and that's something that a lot of people have interest in to one degree or another. So,
I will not be in a SIG rut anytime soon. I can tell you that.
You what?
That I will not be in a SIG rut anytime soon.
I'm the same. Like, I don't like the polymer SIGs. I was playing around with what the hell was it today? It was a 223, 6 hour 223. I never even heard of that because I've just never been in the SIGs. So I was playing around with it, and my local gun shop actually has one that was used. I think he was asking like 4 and change. It's a West German gun. And the person who owned it actually had 3 different barrels. He had a 9mm conversion barrel, has a 40 barrel, and a 357 SIG barrel with it.
Nice.
And it wasn't like a really awesome gun to feel in your hand, but it was so unique. I was tempted to go that route, but then I started looking at the Beretta, and I said, all right, I'll do the Beretta. I don't know, maybe at some point, if it's still around, I might pick that one up because it was just such a unique gun. It came with 4 magazines. It was just a really cool find. It wasn't anything new, wasn't anything fancy, but it was something that was just unique. And I think that's where I'm headed now. I'm just going for things that I think are unique guns that are you don't see them often. Like this 92, I was like, what the hell is this? And then just after reading about it, I was like, it's actually pretty cool, So I think for me, that's where I'm kind of getting drawn to, just different things that I've never really been into. Now I'm getting into them. And that's kind of the unique part of the gun culture,
Well, the good thing about the P320s being so popular is that all the metal frame guns, the guns that I actually like better too, are a lot cheaper now. I had a guy try to trade me a 229 and 40 the other day for like $400. Like, all he wanted was $400 for it.
Wow.
I did buy it because I was buying the Beretta. If it would have been a 9mm, I would have bought it. But the other day I saw a 226 at Shields for like $600. Like, those guns used to be $900, $1,000 everywhere you went.
Right. Now, my question is, on a 40, could you get a conversion barrel and drop it to a 9?
Yeah. I didn't want to look because then I would have bought it and I wouldn't have.
Well, because I was going to say, can you give me his phone number? Because, I'll buy it.
I actually can, yeah, if you want. I'm sure he's still looking. It seems like there's so many good deals on Arms List lately. I don't know if you guys go on that a lot, but I do a lot of trading on there.
That's where I have things exit. In fact, there are 3 things exiting on there right now. So yes, I'm very familiar with Arms List, and they're very good deals. But I can't tell you what they are because of where we are. If you know what I mean.
I would honestly, for me, Arms List is terrible. Nobody buys anything in New York. Nothing. I mean, I could have a gun. I actually have a gun on there right now that is ridiculously low, and no interest. Nobody, not one email, nothing. Nothing.
That's so weird too, because there's so many people. Like you'd think there'd be way less interest here. Like I live in Iowa. There's like 100 people in the whole state.
Right, but you have a gun-friendly culture. I mean, New York, nobody wants guns. Nobody cares, you know. And it's so difficult to sell anything, you know. And I'm like, whatever. And I get some people say, well, can I trade you that for this? I'm like, dude, I have no interest in that.
Right.
Like those shoddy trades where they want to trade you like a $200 gun for your $1,000 gun.
Oh yeah. Somebody wanted to trade, because I had the 43X up on there for a while, and somebody wanted to trade an LCP and a shield for it. I'm like, I don't, you know, I already have a shield. Why would I do that?
Right. I usually get, they offer an amount of money, but it's the same amount of money that a gun store would offer. It's like, why would I do that? Why would I go through the hassle of meeting you somewhere and filling out a bill of sale and all that kind of stuff when I could go over to Centerfire and do the exact same thing?
Right.
That makes absolutely no sense to me.
And then sometimes you got to think about it from the standpoint too, that, you know, is it more cost effective to just trade it in for something? You know, it just all depends on what they offer. Like, for example, that Beretta, I wound up trading my 43X for it. And some people might say that was stupid. You shouldn't have done it. But at the same time, I felt like, for me, I was more interested in that Beretta at that particular moment. I already have a shield. So for me, it was totally 100% worth the trade. So I would do it all day long.
Yeah. That makes sense. That makes sense. So we'll move on here. Humble Marksman said Glocks are cheap to keep. The money and effort to run up a high round count is way easier than most platforms. What do you guys think of that?
I think it's pretty similar. I mean, most quality polymer guns these days will do the same round count for the most part, like a PO7 or as much as I don't really like the 320, but it's a respectable gun as long as you don't drop it and shoot yourself. I don't know if they fixed it or not. I still make that joke and people get all mad at me because SIG guys just get all in you. But like M&Ps, PPQs, they're all similar round counts, I think, personally. Yeah. But what do I know?
And honestly, I think the upkeep I think the only thing that Glock has probably over, let's say, the PPQ is the upkeep. You know, so if something breaks in a Glock, it's super easy to switch out. Right, PPQ true. Is a little bit finicky depending on when you take that takedown lever down.
Or maybe online, because you can find Glock parts at any local store in the world. Yep. I mean, exactly. At least.
Well, and you can also online. I mean, when I was real into the Polymer 80, and I still love them, would still love to do more, but super into that. I mean, I was buying upper and lower kits together, and I have a plastic bin with all the parts separated out, and I think I have enough to build 4, maybe 5. A lot of it's OEM, a lot of it's very stock stuff, nothing special or anything, stock triggers and all that sort of thing. But you kind of the mass parts, and they are beautiful and they're easy. And if something breaks, I mean, you know, I had that firing pin break on that rock slide. Talked about that in the video. I had a spare part ready to go. I keep a parts kit in my range bag of Glock stuff, just in case something's happening, because I'm testing stuff all the time. So I've got springs and guide rods and firing pins and all that kind of stuff just in case.
Yeah, well, I mean, that and the magazine compatibility. You know, like you can find Glock mags anywhere. Tons of different guns take Glock mags. If you're in like an apocalypse zombie scenario, you can find Glock mags laying literally everywhere. So that, the customization, the aftermarket, all that stuff. I mean, Glock's still number one, and they will be for some time. Yeah. Like, you know, people are always talking about Glock killers, but everybody said that about the AR-15. Everybody said that about, like, you know, the Colt single action before that. Usually when a gun gets that popular, it takes a whole different mechanism to actually beat it. So I'm willing to bet that Glock will stay on top for a long time, you know, until they figure out some, you know, maybe a different rotating barrel system or something like that, you know, something significantly better.
Right. Yep. No, I think you're absolutely correct.
And I think the cool thing about Glock too is there's always room for improvement on those guns, even though they refuse to do it sometimes. I think they can definitely modernize a little bit more, and I think they always leave that door open. Now, whether or not they jump through the door, that's a whole nother thing.
Well, it makes sense for them not to, because, you know, they still sell so much.
Yeah.
But people get all uppity about like boutique guns, like the Hudson H9 or the Alien pistol, or you know, like the Strike One. They all have unique features to them, and I like guns like that because they bring slightly new things to the table, and eventually those things are going to get incorporated into a gun like a Glock. You know, Glock just did that rotating barrel,
right?
And that could be really cool. You know what I mean? Or what if, you know, someday a major company makes the Lago Arms system into an affordable polymer frame gun or something like that? You know, like people always discount those things, but they all serve a purpose. You know, all those guns are stepping stones.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. No, I think you're absolutely correct. I think you are. So excuse me. We're getting on in time here a little bit. So a couple of things. Hurt did ask a question, and I did want to address this. I think it's a very fair question, and Honest, you can chime in as well. And 17 chime in as well. But he asked, will most of your content be going to Patreon now? And I briefly mentioned that in the video that I put out yesterday. No, all my normal content that you see on my channel will stay the same. I'll still have videos Saturday mornings, and the only time there wouldn't be one is if for some reason I had something family related or something like that that prevented me from putting one out. Even though I try to get them done. I've had the Beretta video done for almost a week now, so it's just a matter of uploading it. Although I'm going to change the intro now just a little bit because of the events, but also the normal stuff will be normal stuff. Patreon might get some extra content out there, just some things that I can't put on YouTube that YouTube really frowns on. So I think that's the advantage of having a second platform. But no, I don't want to put people at a disadvantage just because they either can't or don't want to do Patreon. That's not fair. So hopefully that answers that. Honest, what do you think?
I'm probably going to do more like 70-30, 75-25, like maybe one out of every 4 videos will go up on Patreon or something like that. And my idea is that those people love my content so much they're willing to help out the channel for it. So I want to give them some stuff that regular people don't get. I kind of want to make them feel special because they are. I appreciate that so much. I can't believe people actually love my content enough to pay for it. And I really want to give back to those people. That's why I already do the giveaways, and we're going to do Q&A stuff. I'm planning on doing a lot of different content for Patreon. And then obviously still do at least 2 videos a week for YouTube. So, I mean, my YouTube channel is not going to go away. They can get fucked. I'm still going to put up gun content until they push me off.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. No, that makes sense.
Yeah.
What about you, 1776? What are you going to do?
I don't know. Like I said, I'm so torn, man. I'm not going to lie. I don't know. Like, I guess the best way to say it is that I don't personally feel like my stuff is good enough to get paid for. I mean, that's how I feel. I don't have the newest gun every week. I don't have an outdoor range like you do to be able to hit steel from 10,000 yards out. I'm so limited to what I can do that I don't know if I'd have the guts or balls to do it. I just don't. And it's not because I feel like my content's so bad. I just don't know. I mean, I can't even get to 10,000 subscribers right now. Like, it's been 3 goddamn years or 4 years, and I can't even get to 10,000. And, if for me, it's also, I work a lot. So I'm always with my kids or my wife. So it's so hard to be able to balance that out properly. And I don't want to ask people for money and then not deliver on something. So if I was to ever do it, I could see myself maybe doing a live stream for patrons and having that more, I guess you can say, more intimate chat with people, whether there's one person or, 20, whatever it might be, so that it's a little bit more direct feedback, whatever their interests are, so on and so forth. They want to talk politics, whatever it might be. I just don't know. I don't know. And it's frustrating because, yeah, it would be nice to be able to make some money off of this. I would never lie and say that, because it helps. The money that I've been getting for YouTube, which isn't much, has helped me pay for ammunition, has helped me put down a deposit on a gun that I may not have been able to afford. And yeah, it takes me some time to pay it off, but it's still something new. And I just don't know where I'm at, I guess, mentally, with asking people to help pay for those things. And I'm not knocking anybody. If you guys do it, God bless. I wish you all the best and all the success in the world when you get it. There's a competitive side to me that gets pissed when I see people who I think suck as people in general, who have like 300 patrons and their content is not very good. I don't know. I'm very torn about it. And, if something was to happen, I don't know. Maybe I'm just going to throw it out there. Maybe. I really want to know what people would say if I said, I'm going to try Patreon. What do you guys think? Because I know I'm going to get a lot of people say, hell you, fuck you. I'm unsubscribing. And I feel like I've tried so hard to build this channel in a gun unfriendly state so that my almost 10,000 subscribers are like your 100,000 or KS's 35,000, because it's just not easy here. So I don't know. That's a long rant of pretty much no answer.
No, it makes sense though. I mean, Patreon is a responsibility. I've got a lot of patrons now, and I feel obliged to give them content consistently.
Yeah.
One of the reasons why I put up so many videos a week. And I mean, if you're not going to do that, then maybe go a different route.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Like I said, it's just not enough to, I don't know. Like, I don't know how it is. Like I've looked at other people's Patreon accounts, and they don't put anything on there except for videos they've already uploaded to YouTube. And so I'm kind of like, but man, that seems cheesy. Obviously giveaways, that kind of stuff, are always possible. I know somebody mentioned about hats, t-shirts. I just don't know how profitable that would be, and again, like, I don't want to sell out. Like, to me, that's my biggest fear, that people are going to think that I'm a sellout. And, I've never sold out in anything, and I never plan on it.
As long as you use it to fund your channel, I don't see a problem with it. Like, all of my patron money goes right back into my channel.
Yeah.
I don't use it to buy groceries or get hookers or blow or anything.
Oh, come on. Now you just ruined it for me, damn it.
If I did, money would be on the channel.
Yeah. You'd be snorting guardrails on your live chat.
Yeah. But it's just crowdfunding for new content is all it is.
Yeah, that's right.
That's why I'm totally okay. I initially didn't want to do it either. And I honestly wish I would have got into it earlier. And people like Yankee Marshall were one of the first people to do it. And that fucking guy drives me nuts.
Yeah.
So I didn't really do it originally, but it's worked out for me, and the people are very appreciative. And the people that leave because you do that, I mean, first off, those people don't have to give. They can still just watch the free videos. It's cool. And if they're going to be a dick about it, well, then fuck them anyway.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But like, I think for me, it's more of that. It's almost like a personal thing because, and I'm not feeling sorry for myself in any way. I don't want anybody to think that, but it has absolutely been so difficult to compete in this market with all of you guys. It's impossible because it takes me 3 years just to get a handgun that I paid for 3 years ago. I can't show anybody, a 21 round mag dump or a fucking, 7,000 round Glock. I mean, I can't do those things. I can't have a suppressor. I can't have a muzzle.
People how to do the stuff you do in your area. Like if people are in New York, they're going to watch my channel and they're going to have no idea what guns they can buy, what's best for them. Where I'm willing to bet a lot of people that subscribe to your channel are from your area. I mean, a lot of people that subscribe to my channel are from Iowa, so I don't know. You have 10,000 subscribers. You have a great channel. Don't get too down on yourself.
I'm not. I'm never down on myself. Trust me. I'm too much of an arrogant asshole to do that.
That's awesome. Well, as long as you know who you are. So, gentlemen, we've gone a little bit over, but this has been a blast. And we have such an amazing group of people in here, not only on the panel, but out there as well. Each and every one of you guys are amazing. So, gentlemen, if there's any parting words you'd like to present.
Don't buy a cig and West Side.
Awesome.
My parting words are don't buy a cig, and I guess that's East Side. I don't know what the hell East Side is. So I really quick, I also got a PC carbine coming in, just so you know.
Nice.
Yeah.
I want that cig, and now that I say don't buy a cig, I want that MPX PCC really bad. That the John Wick blaster. Ooh.
Yeah.
Well, okay. So a couple of last thoughts. Buy a cig, and honest, you're going to change your tune when I send you this thing. So I'm just saying.
I'll put a SIG logo right in my house.
It'll be flashing. It'll be like the bat signal. It'll be there. So, like I said, everybody, thank you guys so much for hanging out with us, spending your Wednesday evening with us. So you guys are all amazing, and we look forward to continuing to do this. Hope you guys like the new format. If the little tags down below drive you nuts a little bit, let me know too. I was kind of having fun with that, but I think it's kind of fun to have the call out on screen, see your name. Everybody has great questions and comments and everything. So very interesting stuff. So Mateo, very interesting video layout. Somebody made a comment about you on one of my videos the other day. So you and I should talk about that. Text me later. So, but anyway, so everybody, thank you guys very much. Honest, thanks for being on. As always, we love having you here. You're always welcome. And we'll do this again next week.
Yeah, and don't get rid of us. Just stop the video, and we'll chat for a few minutes. I have something to run by you guys.
All right, that sounds good. Well, everybody else, thank you. Have a great rest of your evening and your week. Shoot straight and be safe.
See you guys.
See ya.